Thank you very much. Vice Mayor, council members, Manager Couch. I'm here today to talk about the project requirements documents for Phase 2 of the Oklahoma River improvements. Just as a brief background, these project requirements are going to be provided for two reasons primarily. One is as guidelines for any architect or engineer that is selected to perform work on any of these projects for Phase 2, and it provides a summary and a guideline also for the MAPS 3 subcommittees, the Citizens Advisory Committee, and for the City Council. We used a number of different sources. We used our consultants. We used input from the subcommittee. We collected data from other sources. We've worked very closely with the Boathouse Foundation to make sure that what we're doing is compatible with the overall vision for the river improvements. The document itself consists of background description, site description and analysis, space descriptions where that's appropriate. In this case, it's this is an eclectic group of projects that's going to be undertaken, design considerations, and most importantly, budget and schedule. You may recall there are 4 phases for the river improvements themselves. This is a brief summary of each of those phases. These project requirements deal specifically with Phase 2, which consist of a number of varied projects, including starting systems, starting docks, judging platforms, LED lighting, cameras, buoy markers, timing huts, crossover markers, other infrastructure for electronic and fiber connectivity, sound, and gateway enhancements. This is the budget, overall budget for all of the river improvements. Phase 2 is broken out there as all the other projects have been by design, construction, contingency, and other components of the budget and the schedule as well. And I'm happy to answer any questions, provide additional information as you wish.
Yes, sir, Pat.
And just a quick question, Mike. Was there any discussion in the course of your investigation of providing some kind of a public eating facility, restaurant, coffee shop kind of thing in that area?
That really isn't part of this project requirements documents, but that will be a part of the Whitewater discussions and has always been planned for the Whitewater facility. Assuming there's a sufficient budget for the course itself and the required improvements, a restaurant of some sort of food service facility would be provided as part of the Whitewater facility.
Is the Whitewater facility's location, has that been firmed up yet?
It hasn't been finalized, but there's a study ongoing right now and will be a study going to determine that it is, in fact, suitable to be located at the far eastern end of what's generally referred to as Boathouse Row, adjacent to I-35 on the south side of the river. ADG did a very preliminary study that shows that there is enough space there to do it. It's a little bit difficult site because there are some significant sewer lines. You may be familiar, there's some OG&E lines, which we've been working with OG&E on. But it is, the site can be used for that purpose. And in fact, there were interviews yesterday and Friday for a design consultant for the Whitewater facility, and I think we'll be bringing you the results of those interviews in the coming weeks.
Thank you, Mike.
Just a quick question, though. Outside of the MAPS projects, the Boathouse Foundation could identify a restaurant partner and could do something.
That's always a possibility, yes. And to follow up on Councilman Ryan's question, Mike did allude that we conducted interviews the last 2 days to try to select a consultant for the Whitewater facility. And although that site has some challenges. All four of the firms that we interviewed did talk about specifics having to do with the site, and we do believe that that's going to be a suitable site.
We do need a place where you can get a cup of coffee or grab a sandwich or something down there on the river. So want to encourage folks to take a look at that opportunity.
We will.
Any further questions or comments from the council? Okay.
I guess, Larry, may I just make a comment, and this is way out of the box, but Dennis, you're in the hot seat, so I'm going to go ahead. I've had some feedback recently from visitors that have gone down to the river, bringing out-of-town guests, and had a lot of trouble figuring out where to go to do things, where to go to rent kayaks, where to go to do things. And so talking about signage and, how do you buy a ticket for the Devon boats? And I think we've got these fabulous facilities, but it would be helpful if maybe we could hone in a little bit on helping the visitor figure out how to use them.
The Boathouse Foundation is responsible for those activities, and I'll be glad to visit with Mike Knopp, who's the director of the Boathouse Foundation, about getting some more information out to the public, maybe increasing the signage so that those issues are more easily identifiable.
Great, and he's generally here. I didn't see him today, but just if you would pass on those comments, that'd be great.
Okay. Do we have a motion in a second? We have a motion and a second. Any further questioning? Mike, thank you for coming. Our prayers go out to you and your family. Please cast your votes, and it is so approved.